How many times have you code switched in a meeting, toned down your personality in social gatherings, hidden your talents to avoid outshining others? Today, we're addressing the cost of dimming your light, adjusting your perspective on your authentic self, and applying 5 powerful ways to reclaim your brilliance. I'll be sharing my own journey with dimming my light and how it affected my relationship to my creative side, plus weaving in wisdom from Brianna Wiest's transformative book, The Mountain Is You. Remember, your light isn't just for you. It's the beacon that guides others to your own authenticity. So let's begin this journey of addressing, adjusting, and applying together. Welcome to Adjusting. Welcome to Adjusting, a safe space for candid conversations about mental health and well being with your host, Justin G. Nelson. Whether you're recovering from trauma, redefining your purpose, managing mental health, or simply craving more authenticity, this show is for you. I hope something resonates with you and helps you on your own personal journey. So sit back, relax, and let's start adjusting. And we are back to episode 3 of Adjusting Podcast with your host, Justin G. Nelson. You all, this episode probably should have been the first episode I did. It's primarily the reason I started therapy. I always just felt like I wasn't doing enough, and granted, I'm doing a lot, but creatively, mentally, emotionally, I just felt like I wasn't living up to my purpose or honoring my future self. But we will talk about that later in the episode. But today's episode is about adjusting your light. Before we begin, I want to thank TJ for helping me with the podcast and get everything put together and edited. Make sure you support him. His podcast is Tea with TJ. He also has some other projects coming out soon, and he will be a guest this season, so I'm excited for that. But before we begin the episode, I want to invite you to a creative breathing so that we can center ourselves and get grounded for this episode. So if you're driving, keep driving, okay? If you're at home or you're in a space where you can just take a second for you to breathe, I invite you to breathe with me. So on the count of 3, we're going to breathe in. 1, 2, 3, and breathe out. 1, 2, 3. One more time. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3. And out. 1, 2, 3. All right. So here we are with part 1, addressing understanding dimming your light. Now, a lot of us often have to code switch when we go into certain spaces. And we do that for the sake of not embarrassing ourselves or just wanting to fit in. And I mentioned that in our previous episode when it came to comfortable spaces versus safe spaces, or was that episode 1? And I wanted to really talk about code switching. It is a safety mechanism and it works a lot. I think my code switch sometimes shows up in sarcasm, but code switching isn't always best when it comes to you being your authentic self. We do it just so we fit in, so we don't embarrass ourselves, so we can just get through a moment or an event or a work day and get home and just decompress. Now, there are moments and contexts where people dim their lights and they don't even realize it. Professional environments, we dim our lights or code switch sometimes so that we're not giving more work to do. Listen, some of us just want to go to work, do the bare minimum, get paid for doing said thing, and go home. Other of us, like myself, we can be an overachiever. We can be people pleasers at times, and we tend to overexert ourselves. But that comes from a trauma response of, like I said, people pleasing and wanting to show our worth to a higher up or another individual. But we don't get paid for that. We don't get paid for overexerting. Okay. You can get a pizza party, but that really doesn't justify all the work that you really do. Other places are religious and spiritual communities. I'll talk about this later, but I know some of my code switching showed up in church spaces only because the black church is known for, I don't want to say manipulating people and their gifts, but when someone is good at something, they want to drain you for all you can do and say, God's going to bless you. Yeah, but like, let me get the blessing outside of church. Or let me get the blessing in church on my own time, not because you trying to use me for everything I can do to glorify. We're not doing it. Number three, academic settings. I know for personally, I think I've shared this story before, but in the fourth grade, I was in CLU. I did not want to be in CLU. I did not want to be in a gifted program because I was bullied and I did not want to be singled out like that. Like I never forget. Fourth grade, they were coming. It's like, hey, we came to get Justin for Clue, baby. I hid under the table. I was on the floor hiding. I did not want to go. And yeah, like I still graduated number one in elementary school. That's a flex, okay? Valedictorian. But I was bullied for that. People just like, oh, you a nerd, you a geek. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I do my homework. I'm sorry I retained the information that was given. I'm sorry my parents, made sure my projects were top tier. That's not my fault. That's your mama's fault. Okay, blame her. Talk to them about that. And then family dynamics. Sometimes I feel like the black sheep of the family, not because I am like I don't want this sounds presumptuous, but not because I'm successful, but because I was I was built different. Like my mom really strived to make sure I stayed on top of everything. And not only was I like Christ centered, I was career centered and I was very driven by success. So, of course, I went to grad school and got my master's degree, and I'm even contemplating my doctorate degree. But I can't say the same for a lot of other men in my family. And this is not a drag or a dig. I'm just grateful that my mom really guided me on this path. And in social circles, listen, I'm a Cancer Sun, Libra Moon, and Leo rising. Sometimes I want to be at home. I mean, people, and it hurts my. I'm gonna say this now. If you're listening and you're a friend, please invite me places. It hurts my feelings when I'm not invited places for the sake of you assuming I don't want to go. Let me tell you, I don't want to go. Okay, maybe I'm in a season where I need to get out the house, but I see y'all after the fact. It's like, oh, well, I would have invited you, but you're so busy. Stop assuming I'm always busy. Okay, sometimes I just don't want to go, but other times, invite me. Invite me. But I will say, in certain social settings, I get overstimulated very fast. I realize that, and I'm grateful for the term overstimulation because some of y'all be doing the most, and I don't know why. I don't like. Listen, I know the line dances. If you turn a line dance, I can do that for the whole night. Okay, I will line dance my way to heaven. But when it comes to everything else, just what you drinking? Can I go home? Justin, you. And then y'all, we have to dress up. Listen, I am going through a weight loss crisis. I have only so many items I could wear, and I am not buying new clothes. I am determined to lose weight. But anyway, um, all those things, like when I go out in social settings, people just like, but you're so like fun at home. Yeah, because like I don't know these people. I don't want to be judged. I don't want these people to like he's crazy. I'm not crazy. But I am a very passionate and animated individual, and that can be taken in other ways. However, when I started therapy, I talked to my therapist and I was just like, I really want to do more. I want to be seen and I want people to see this creative side of me without the shame that comes with, or the shame and judgment that comes with just being you. And here are some ways that you dimming your light costs you. There's an emotional cost. The chronic feelings of inauthenticity, depression, anxiety, resentment, and diminished joy. Okay, so you dimming your light and hiding who you are, the gifts that you have, the passions that you want to do, the places you want to explore, and how you authentically want to show up. When you don't do it, that's an emotional cost. Like putting yourself in debt. We talking about tariffs. Thinking about the emotional tariffs that we have. The mental cost is cognitive dissonance, overthinking, diminished creativity, mental exhaustion from constant just denial of who you are. So we're going to leave that behind after this episode. You're going to walk away paying yourself back, like slowly building the wattage in your light. The physical cost is increased cortisol levels, tension headaches. Is that why I'm always having it? Okay, diagnosis. Okay, digestive issues. So again, back to that nervous system, immune system. Like we don't understand how much the body truly shows us where we are depleting ourselves, even through creativity, even through like the emotional response that comes with a lot of things. Your body's just like, hey, you're not operating in your highest self. We're gonna make you feel sick. Like we're going to cause you to feel very bloated. Spiritual cost, it's a disconnection from purpose, loss of meaning, feeling out of alignment. I always go back to that reading I recently had about the beacon, and like the beacon is a tall object. It's high, it's a skyscraper. Like think about that when it comes to your light. How high do you want to place your light? Do you want to be Batman? Like I don't want you to be the person people call on for everything, not that kind of light, but like light as in shining to inspire other people. Okay. And then relational costs, surface level connections. I realize that's one reason I am very mindful of my friendships and where I go, because a lot of people, they won't say it, but they are very surface level with friendships. It's only transactional. Even at church, people just like, "Hey, brother Nelson, how you doing? I need a favor. Can I answer? I tell you, I'm tired. Oh, you do so much. Well, when you get a chance, I I said I was tired, not I'm tired, but willing to work. Like, stop it. Um, but back to relational costs. You have surface level connections, inability to form deep relationships, and attracting people who love the dimmed version of you. Let's unpack that. So we don't realize it, but some people see the light that you don't see, but they are willing to put dimmers on your light so that you can function at a lower wattage so that they can benefit from the light that they see within you. Yeah, we're gonna call those dimmers. Yeah, watch out for the dimmers in your life. You need to remove those dimmers so that you can shine bright. Shine bright like a diamond. Hey, okay, sorry. Uh, so professional costs, missed opportunities, stifled innovation, lack of recognition for true skills. This is not your sign to quit your job. This is not, if you pray for the sign, this ain't it. Okay. You did not hear this on my podcast. Okay. But if you feel that your light has been dimmed to satisfy a career or a role that you have within someone else's company, and you know that you can be shining brighter by yourself or in another space, they're dimmers. Okay. I know I've missed some opportunities for dimming my light in certain places because I wanted to make sure the company was successful. Did they care about my success though? Hmm. And then I want to introduce a book that I read in a day. It's Brianna Wiest's The Mountain Is You. And it talks a lot about transforming self sabotage into self mastery. If you struggle with shining bright, read this book. The Mountain Is You. Okay. You can shine in the valley, you can shine at the highest peak of your mountain. Wherever you are, your light will guide you. Okay. So I want to drop some gems, but I may just have to do a whole book review on my YouTube channel about this book because it's jam packed. It's 7 chapters full of ways to just reshift how you see yourself in your life. So I want to slowly open up about some of my personal hurts when it comes to primarily dimming my light, how I have lowered my wattage. Okay, the first thing that comes to mind is singing. A lot of you just like, Justin, you have a great voice. Thank you. Actually, let's talk about compliments. I realized after reading this book that my lack or inability to receive compliments from a genuine space resulted in me dimming my light. The compliments I receive were ways for me to shine. They were fueling and recharging my light and I couldn't receive them. So today I'm done not receiving compliments. I thank you all, even the people who listen to this podcast who say, "Hey Justin, like I'm really proud of your podcast. Thank you." Thank you. This is my thank you. This is me recharging my light. But back to singing. So I went to school for music education, and that was one way I kind of dimmed my light because I was fearful of pursuing a career or pursuing a degree in performance. I felt that education was a safer way for me to navigate in the performance world without being elite. Now, don't get me wrong. I love being in the ensemble, but part of me wants to lead something. But it has to be something original. I don't want to be compared to somebody else. I want to be original because right now, a lot of people don't want to give Audra McDonald her flowers for her role in Gypsy because everyone is saying it's not the same or it's not the tone quality isn't what it should be. It's too operatic. But just like, why are y'all dimming her light? Like, yeah, she's a 6-time Tony Award winner, and y'all think that's too much. But I'm just like, but she is making this role her own. So growing up in church, I was always judged, or I don't want to say judged, I was critiqued for my classical approach to a lot of things. Even moving here to New York, my current minister of music was just like, why don't you like to lead songs? I was like, well, it's not a matter of me leading song. It's the comfort no, it's the judgment that comes from leading them. When I first moved here, I led this song. It was a James Hall song or whatever. And it was very churchy, very gospel-y, a lot of runs, a lot of fluff, a lot of ad libs. And that's just not what I do, you know? Like I can sing you a Mozart or a Beethoven or Moses Hogan spiritual for days. That's where I thrive. And I sang the song. It didn't go well. I turned around. She was laughing. She looked at my pastor. He was laughing. And I was just like, this is traumatizing. Like, I'm trying to be vulnerable and in the spirit, and y'all back there laughing. Like, how is that? How does that work? You know? And I feel like I still hold that grudge to today, but it's fine because it is what it is. I'm human. However, recently I heard Cynthia Erivo speak at a conference and she talked about like her inner child and where she is now as a singer and how she loves to push herself. And I was just like, okay, I hear you, Cynthia, but I'm gonna push myself at my own pace, you know? Another thing that I dim my light, another way I dim my light, sorry, is through my businesses. Y'all, I've been in business for 5 years with my branding and marketing company. I don't talk enough about all the wins I have, all the clients I've taken on, the projects I've created, the work I've done with various people. I don't talk about it. I don't talk about it because I don't want the attention sometimes, or it comes with haters. And I'm just like, I'm happy living in the background. No, I'm not. So I finally posted that I am working with a health and wellness magazine. I've been working with them for a year and a half, and no one knew. I mean, a few people knew because I complained sometimes because it was a lot of work. But I finally posted about it. People just like, oh my God, that's amazing. I was like, thank you. Like, post your stuff. Show up for yourself. Be proud of you. If no one else is proud of you, be proud of you. Someone else, some stranger is rooting for you to win because they see the growth and the progress. I'm just coming to a place, even in this book, like who you were 5 years ago is not the same person you are now. Honor that. And one more thing I want to share, and it probably come up again later in the episode, but it was just something that was on my heart. I often talk about inner child work and going back to your 8-year-old self. I think Mel Robbins talks about a lot of people experience trauma in like at 8 years old or 13 years old. So, like, going back to that self and saying, hey, I'm sorry for what you experienced. I'm sorry for what happened. And then taking yourself on dates. But my reader said, what about your future self? And so last night, as I was preparing for this episode, I said, I think I want to take my inner child on dates with my future self so that they can meet and really connect and find ways to honor that child as an adult. So I went to the Canva Create conference. We went together, my inner child, my future self. Y'all, I'm a new person. Like, you can't tell me anything. My light is shining. I don't know if you can tell while watching this on YouTube, but my light is shining. And I just feel like my purpose is more aligned with what I want to do with my branding and marketing company, with this podcast, with everything I work on. And it just showed me that the limits that we set on ourselves really do dim our light. It holds us back from the highest voltage that we can muster. And it's not shine bright where you want to blind people. It's shining bright where you want to inspire people or encourage people or bring people to you so that you can show them how to shine their light. And I hope that's what you're getting from this episode. So we're moving on to part 2 with adjusting and recognizing your light. So here are 5 signs that your light has dimmed. Number 1, this is for my people pleasers. You frequently apologize for your opinions, talents, or presence. Whew. Number 2, you feel exhausted after social interactions, even good ones. Now, that's hit or miss. Sometimes you just deplete it. Like, well, no, that makes sense. Because if you're exhausted, that means you were code switching. You really had to put on. Yep, got it. Number 3, you regularly check yourself before speaking. I.e., is this too much? Am I saying too much? Sorry, I said too much. Say it. Shoot, stop apologizing. Number 4, you feel a persistent sense of not belonging or being misunderstood. And number 5, you've lost touch with activities and interests that once brought you joy. All right. So we just talked about the 5 signs your light has been dimmed. Now, here are 5 ways to reconnect with your authentic self. Practice mindful awareness of when you're people pleasing versus being genuine. Okay. Now, people pleasers, again, that's a lot to digest and to break down. We've been doing it for a long time. Some of us have made it our personality or our identity. But if we're wanting to switch from people pleasing to being genuine, it starts with just being honest. If they know that you have good intentions, just say how you feel. That you would do yourself a whole lot of justice by just being honest. Number 2, create a permission slip for expressing different aspects of yourself. Now, this is a cool activity because it allows you to, like, feel comfortable in your skin or in your space. I think for me, with like all the things that I do, I kind of ebb and flow between like tantric yoga or my vegan practice or fitness or creating content. And so like I give myself permission to just have fun, let my hair down, really adjust to, you see what I did there? Adjust. Just remove the shame that comes in the Black community with just showing up as you. Because I promise you, there is a community out there that is going to support you. Number three, revisit a childhood interest before societal expectations took hold. Let me say that again. Revisit childhood interest before societal expectations took hold. Video games. Video games. I wish I still had my I think it was Tony Hawk on PlayStation. Y'all, that game was fun. I think I'm gonna get a gaming system at some point. Number four, keep a true self journal, documenting moments you felt most alive. It can even be your notes app in your phone. Just write down moments that really made you feel like you showed up as your best self. And number five, identify and challenge the internal narratives that keep you small. Y'all okay? I know that was a gut punch, but we don't realize how often we minimize ourselves by just negative self-talk. So like if you can catch it, throw it away, apologize and move on, that's a step in the right direction. And here are a few exercises for rediscovering passions and talents. The energy audit. So track activities that energize versus drain you for 1 week. So if you say going for a walk it gives you a boost of energy, write that down. If it's going to a museum, write that down. Going to see a show, write that down. Doom scrolling. Listen, I know a lot of people say it's so bad, but if you leave social media feeling creative and inspired, that's a good thing. If you leave feeling drained or as if you're not like worthy to post or you're just like, I'm just going to give up, then don't do that. Find something else to do. And then there's another concept called the before I knew better reflection. It means like, what did you love before you were told it wasn't practical? I think that's a great inner child exercise. Borrowed joy practice. Try activities that light up people you admire. And then the no judgment hour. Now, this is something I will do in my more private, intimate platform, but spend time each week doing something solely because it brings you joy. And I think this comes up with a lot of people when it comes to like a more sexual practice, because I talked to a friend recently and we were talking about how the stigma in the Black community when it comes to like sex and exploring and things like that have been tainted because of a Christian POV. But after reading the book of Genesis and Exodus, oh no, y'all. They were doing a lot of poly behavior back in the day. And number five is the compliment inventory. Reflect on what others have recognized in you that you might be dismissing. So I think that's one of the biggest things that I've been working on in therapy, is just to be able to sit with the compliments and really go, wow, I didn't realize someone noticed that in me. So if y'all want to leave me a compliment, let me know. Thank you. I appreciate it. See, look at me being open to compliments. And the last part in part two is different expressions of light across various identities and experiences. So with the BIPOC professionals navigating predominantly white spaces, take up space. Please take up space, especially with everything we're going through right now with DEI. And DEI is not just about Black people, okay? But my BIPOC listeners, continue to create content. There is a trend going on right now on TikTok with the like yawn, I can't say the word, the knitting, yawn makeup trend where people are putting yarn on their face and creating these elaborate things. I'll try to put a picture in here for my LGBTQ community. There's a struggle with the heteronormative environments. So continue to rewrite the new normal in the community. Neurodivergent people in neurotypical settings. Keep showing up. Like, a lot of people don't understand what it means to be neurodivergent. and the restrictions that we sometimes put on ourselves as being neurodivergent because we get overstimulated. And then moving on to part 3, applying the 5 ways to find your light. We are almost at the end of this episode, but this part here, again, get the book, The Mountain Is You, because I'm going to reference a lot of things in this book. So, the 5 ways to find your light. Number 1, be authentic. Embracing your true self without apology. So, this goes back to the authenticity inventory exercise. You can create a 2-column list: what I do because I want to, and what I do because I think I should. So, this is something you can do on your own after listening to this, but I will provide an example on social media or on my website just so you can know like the best way to use this practice. But some examples of small steps toward authenticity is changing your communication style and expressing your true opinions, dressing in ways that feel right to you. Like, how does the way you show up physically reflect the light you want to shine? I know I live in New York. I will wear all black every day if I could. That finally has crept up on me. But I want to wear more color. When I went to the Canva conference, I wore all black, but I had on a pop of blue. And blue is my Type J Marketing's logo color. And everyone is almost like, yeah, you got on the Canva blue, you got on the Dropbox blue, you got on the LinkedIn blue, you got on the Walmart blue. Okay, I got on my Type J Marketing blue, but I stood out. Number 2, remember your why. Reconnect with your purpose and motivation. Here are some journaling prompts that can help you rediscover your purpose. When have I lost track of time because I was so engaged in what I was doing? What exactly was I doing in those moments? Number 2, if I had 1 year left to live, what message or contribution would I want to leave behind? How does this relate to my current path? And the third question, think back to a younger version of yourself with big dreams. What would that version of you want to say to you now? So this goes back to the inner child, future self work. Create some visual reminders of your why. It can be a vision board. It can be even changing the background on your phone. I do that sometimes. And then just placing things on your desk. Post-it notes were a big trend like in 2021, like just having affirmations or post-its around your workplace or in your bathroom or your mirrors, kind of like a mirror reflection exercise. That's great. Number 3, live for you. Okay. In the book of Genesis, it talks about how man was created from dirt. You are uniquely designed and created. Your purpose, everything about you is unique. Okay. So if you learn to live for you as you with no shame and judgment, your light will shine brighter than ever. But you have to do so by setting some boundaries, okay? And prioritizing your needs. Number 4, your light is your beacon. I think that's going to be a t-shirt. It's got to be a something because I just love your light is your beacon. Using authenticity to guide others. Okay, so if this podcast episode has relit your light or built your wattage, let me know in the comments because I want to keep encouraging you to adjust whatever it is you need to do to shine bright. And the last one is find your reflection. Surround yourself with people who see and celebrate your light. Again, like Brianna said, you are not the same person you were 5 years ago. Also, your friends reflect your light. You outgrow people. You outgrow settings. You outgrow jobs. You can even outgrow your church. Okay. So until you find that your light isn't shining or the people around you aren't reflecting this new person you are, your light will continue to dim and you will not live up to your authentic self. So I really and truly hope that you got something from this episode that will help you shine bright and really adjust your light so that you can live up to the purpose and live up to your future self, so that you honor your inner child, your present you, and your future self by spreading joy, finding your purpose, and just loving yourself even more. So be sure to like and share this episode. The downloads are going up, and that is going great. Follow me on social media. Follow my YouTube page, the TikTok, since it's not going away. I'm working on a newsletter and some other things, so keep a lookout for that. I'm going to slowly build my newsletter list. But until next time, be safe and keep adjusting. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. I hope you take something away to help you make the adjustments you need. Before you go, please take a quick second to share this with someone you care about. And if you can, please leave a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform you're listening to this on. For more information about adjusting or to inquire about being a guest, head over to adjustingpod.com. Until next time.